Are you a blogger or an online publisher that has been freaking out over this GDPR thing that's been going on that is live as of May 25th, 2018? Maybe you've been so overwhelmed or so scared that you've sort of bailed on it. Or maybe you're not like really collecting emails. I don't know, but you've decided to just stick your head in the sand. Have no worries. We're going to take care of GDPR compliance. I'm going to show you this new tool that's going to get you compliant in 15 minutes or less, I promise. I'm Eva Taylor. I'm the publisher of DIY Marketers, and today we're going to get you GDPR compliant for bloggers and online publishers. The tool I'm going to talk to you about today is called EUBenda. I know it says EUBenda if you're in the United States, but these are Europeans and the I is now pronounced an E. EUBenda, that's how you say it. This is a super easy tool that I used, I swear, to get my blog compliant in less than 15 minutes, and that's having seen nothing. Let me show you a little bit about how this works. The first thing you're going to want to do is just simply click on Start Generating. The first thing you're going to see is that you can make your website compliant if you have a mobile app or a Facebook app. I have a website, and I'm going to show you how I made DIYmarketers.com GDPR compliant in less than 15 minutes. Let's log in and let me take you behind the scenes and show you how I did this. Now, one of the really terrific things about this platform is, like I said, I clicked on the click generating and I chose website, and I created two things. I created a privacy and cookie policy and a cookie solution. Okay, there are other consent solutions. I'm not using that. So let me just show you these first two. Let's click on the edit section so that I can kind of show you around the platform a little bit. The first thing that you want to notice is this blue box over here on the right-hand side. You have the choice to either make it just for the EU audience or for all users. I actually just chose for the EU audience. That's just what I chose. It's up to you if you want, if you choose all users will have the same privileges or the same constraints as the EU audience. The next thing you want to do is, you can see I've added a bunch of services, but let me show you how easy this is. It's basically, if you know what your site is running and you can click on it, you can be compliant. And what they've really done is there's over 624 items on this checklist, but they've put them into categories. So the first one is access to third-party accounts. So if your audience has access to Dropbox or Facebook accounts or Google Drive or any of these things, you would simply click on that. I actually happen to use the advertising one, and there is the Google AdSense. You notice some of these have pro versions on there, and I'm going to tell you, you're not going to get away from being a pro version. I'll take you on a tour of the different features when we're done with this, but you just need to know that there is a free version. It's very, very basic. If you have anything like AdSense or something else that you're going to see as we go further down, you are going to end up having to go with the pro version, but the good news is it's not expensive. It's totally worth it. I'm not really using this. I am not using anything here. So there's analytics, and of course you've got they've got a million different analytics platforms. Again, if you've got something more sophisticated, you'll probably be in the pro version. I've got Google Analytics, and that's all I'm using. And the good news is, if that's all you're using, you're going to be lucky. You can use the free version. Are you backing up your site? If you're using Amazon, you can put that on there. Commercial affiliations. These are all your affiliates. People need to know that you have affiliates. I'm using Amazon. That's all I've got, but you can use ClickBank, or eBay perhaps. These are all things. Here's something else you probably have. Contacting the user. How are you contacting the user? Are you using a contact form? Are you doing an email newsletter? Are you calling them? Are you using a SumoMe contact form or a SumoMe mailing list or newsletter? That's one thing you're going to see in this platform, is they're using a lot of the popular integrations that you can have. What about commenting? I happen to use Discuss. I don't use Facebook comments, but I've checked it anyway. Content performance. This is if you are doing any kind of optimization. I don't happen to be using any of these tools, but you might be. If you're transferring data, I don't do any of that. Device permissions, I am not using any of that. Displaying content. Oh, found something that I use. Gravatar. I use Gravatar. I can't get over how great this, I'm using this Google site search. Every time I go through this, I find something new. And Google Calendar, I realize I use that. Google Fonts, I use that. I'm not using Google Maps. So it's going to take you a little bit of time to get through some of this. I'm not using Storyfy, Vimeo, I'm not using, but I could be. I might have some Vimeo. I don't have a widget, but I'm going to put that in there because I do have video on my site. So you can see already that every time I go through this, I'm finding new things, and you're going to see how valuable this is. No address book, none of this. I'm not using push notifications. So you can see how activity data, I'm not using anything like that. Device permissions, I'm not using that. I am using heat mapping, handling payments. I'm not taking any payments, but I'm going to, if they have PayPal, I'm going to add PayPal. Once again, I want you to notice that just about everything on here is pro, which means that it's very, very difficult for you to get away from paying for this. So all I can tell you is that, see, direct registration. If you address, see, you can sit here when you do that. They'll say, what is it that you're collecting? I'm collecting email addresses. I'm collecting company names because I have guest authors. So I have guest authors who register and have to provide these things. Is there like an image or something? Twitter handle. I ask for Twitter handles. I ask for a picture. So you could see how this works, right? This is super simple, and it's going to get even better. So basically, you go through this really, really long checklist, check everything that you're using, and once you're done, you simply save and close. Okay, so now we've gone through this entire process. We've selected all the things that we use, correct? You definitely want to make sure that you filled out your owner information here, okay? And when you're done with that, if you go and you can absolutely, you have a variety of ways of putting this code on your site. You can add a widget to the footer, you can use a direct link, or you can embed the text in the body. This is actually what I've chosen to do. Let me show you. This is my privacy policy. And I don't know if you're going to see, but I've added some new things. Oh, I know. I bet I'd have to probably refresh so that you can see it. So this is what it looks like. I've basically taken that code and I have put it in there. See, there's the Gravatar. I just added this, and you'll notice I didn't have to change the code at all. This is worth the price of admission, people. Let me show you what the real back end looks like here. I know it's a little slow, but you can see that all I did was take the code that they gave me. See that code? Here is the privacy policy and the cookie policy. I've taken that code, I've entered it into the text of my WordPress blog, and this is what you get. I'm so excited. I had to share this with you. Thanks for listening, and head over to EU Benda, where you can be GDPR compliant in less than 15 minutes, I promise. Have a great day.